To talk to you about it. She has a very keen interest in human behavior. Asha defines herself as a community leader and avid reader and a singer. She's the author of a book called Tame the Mind, which is available on Amazon. And she'll today talk to you about happy boss, happy team, emotional well-being at work. അപ്പോൾ ഇത് എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണെന്ന് ചോദിച്ചാൽ ഇമോഷണൽ വെൽബീയിങ് അറ്റ് ദ ടോപ്പ് ട്രിക്കിൾസ് ഡൗൺ ആൻഡ് ഇമോഷണൽ വെൽബീയിങ് അറ്റ് വർക്ക് ട്രിക്കിൾസ് ഡൗൺ ടു ഇമോഷണൽ വെൽബീയിങ് അറ്റ് ഹോം ആസ് വെൽ. അപ്പോൾ ആഷ, ഇറ്റ്സ് ഓൾ യോഴ്സ്.
Thank you, Nisha, for that introduction. Thank you. Thank you, all of you, and a wonderful evening, morning to all of you. So I'm here to talk about emotional well-being at work. Now, who doesn't want emotional well-being at work, right? As she said, it's happy boss, happy team. But I also feel it is a happy team which creates a happy boss, right? So we go to work, we spend at least 8 to 9 hours at work, right? We spend 8 to 9 hours of work, we prepare ourselves, get up in the morning, the alarm is ringing, everything is like you stuff something into your body, you eat, have that cup of coffee, and then commute, and then come back. So on an average, at least, we spend at least 10 to 11 hours at work. So it's very important that we keep our happiness steady and ready every day. But none of us do. In the United States, 160 million people go to work every day. And out of that, 90% of people are always stressed. Now, I do have one question, since it's happy boss, happy team. I do have one question. How many of you are employers or business owners? Yeah, so quite a few. And the others are employees, right? So there is a problem here because employers and employees, there's always a tussle going on. There's always a tussle in the mind and at work. And what I want to do today is to bring some kind of middle ground, where employers and employees can, come to some kind of understanding of each other and what is creating the stress and what is happening here. Now, I want to ask you one more question. What is the number one reason for unhappiness at work? Anybody?
Boss.
Yes, the boss. Studies have shown repeatedly that when you have a bad boss, you are extremely stressed. And why is that? One, because there's a lot of unrealistic, unmet expectations from the workers or employees. It can be any kind of boss. Every boss is under stress because one boss has another boss on top of it, even including the CEO is under stress because they have to meet expectations of the board members, their targets, etc. So they have to repay their venture capitalists, so they are also under stress. So this stress kind of percolates down. Either it is to keep the place afloat, or it may be also just to bring in more and more money. To pay off the venture capitalist, or it could be greed to, whatever reason, the stress percolates down. Now, unrealistic goals also means, micromanagement. That also causes a lot of problems. Some of the studies have shown that when you micromanage, people there's no control, they lack a control, and employees feel really harmed because of that. Another study has shown the most important reason for this kind of stress is when you underpay the employee. When I say underpay the employee, what I mean is you have a salary for 40 hours, but the employee is expected to work 2 hours extra, or sometimes even 20 hours extra. It doesn't matter, 2 or 20, the employee is unhappy. Because working for free, those 2 hours is costing his or her time, right? So these are some of the causes of stress created by the employers. And what is this, when there is this kind of stress, what happens? There's people are absent from work. Then the other problem is there's burnout, there's fatigue, and stress itself releases a lot of cortisol. And what happens is, because of that, there's cardiovascular problems, there's diabetes, there's also back pain sometimes. People have back pain just from stress. Chronic stress relates to everything. And in my opinion, chronic stress is the cause of all kinds of problems, including some cancers. So this is very important, and we have to be aware of this, like what is chronic stress causing to the human mind. You are mentally depressed, you go home, you take it out on your spouse, you take it out on the children, they can't talk back, and you're taking it out on all of them. So what is happening here is it becomes a vicious cycle. So what happens to the organizations now? The organizations are also going through a lot of problems. What is the main problem the organizations are going through? Absenteeism. There's burnout, there's fatigue, productivity is lost. So organizations are also going through a lot of problems. And in the United States, $500 billion is lost by the organizations. $500 billion is lost every year by organizations. So you imagine, you are creating stress, the employees are stressed, and on the top of it, you are losing money. So it's a two-way thing. We don't realize. We want more productivity, but it's a two-way thing. So in my case, I'll tell you a story. Like, initially it was like, I work as a physician in the urgent care, and initially it would be like 20 patients. Okay, we've seen 20 patients, everybody's happy. And then suddenly it was 30 patients. Okay, she can see 30 patients. Then it becomes 40 patients. Then it's 50 patients, And when you tend to see 50 patients a day, it is extremely stressful. And what happened was that became the norm in the company. And then one of my colleagues got sued because there was negligence. Obviously, you cannot focus on 50 patients, on so many patients in a day. It's an urgent care, but still. So he was sued. And the thing he did, he turned the whole platform, he turned everything around. What he did is, he said, the company is making me do this. How in the world can I see so many patients and keep my sense of, everything together and keep doing this in a day? So the company got sued, he got scot-free. So that is, these things can happen. So how do you mitigate the stress? On a daily basis, how does one mitigate the stress? For me, what I do is, I try to bring a lot of positivity. The first thing when I enter the place is I say, oh, good morning, shout loud, just be happy, just bring your happiness. Because we have to understand that a lot of people who come into workplace have their own problems. They come, there's financial insecurity, there is, personal problems, they come with so many other problems, child care is a problem, sometimes elder care is a problem, they have so many problems, and we have to also understand that. So I try to create that positivity. The second thing is, social, being a social, we are all social animals, right? We like connectivity, we like to connect to people. And in that sense, when you are in that, socially, you ask people, how was your day? How was your work? How was yesterday? What did you do? And they come up with a lot of stories. They'll tell you all their personal problems. They'll tell you what happened at that match, so you have that interconnection. The third thing I do personally, I don't think a lot of people would do that, but I do personally is I let go of a lot of things. I just let go of a lot of things. And I'll give you an example of that. And one of the examples is that when I asked my assistant to do a test and on a patient. And that assistant, what happens is that, suddenly is reluctant because I'm adding work, right? I'm adding work, I'm telling her to do that test. And the assistant is reluctant, she'll roll her eyes or sometimes grunt or sometimes even say, why talk? Why are you making me do this? That kind of thing. So I just let go. I will not say, this is your job, you have to do this. No. I just let go. I know that she has to do it because I have told her to do it. That's part of her job description. I let go. I don't confront her. Because the moment I confront her, she's going to confront me back. And then it's going to escalate and my day is gone, I just move on to the next patient. I know she has to do it because, the patient is happy, I'm happy, everybody is happy. So that's how, I smoothen the whole process of the day, because I want to be, at the end of the day, go home, be happy, be contented with what I did. So that's important to me. And a lot of my patients are very sick. They come mentally sick. There's a lot of negativity coming onto me. So I try to give out a lot of positivity towards them. A lot of positivity so that they go out of my room or out of the place a little happier than they were, when they came in. That's my goal, kind of. What can organizations do? So organizations can do a lot of things too. And one of the things organizations can do is create a lot of flexibility. Like I said, these are people who come to work every day. they have a lot of things going on behind the scenes, like financial insecurity and all that I spoke about. So organizations, if they have a flexible schedule for the employees, that really helps a lot. A flexible schedule, that is one of the foremost things I think that will help anybody, the organization. Growth is also another thing which is very important for people. You allow the person to grow. You don't control the person. You allow the person to grow. Growth is very important. Learning is very important. When I go for those medical education trips, and you enjoy because you're learning. I'm learning Spanish now. My goal is to master Spanish in 2024 because it creates some kind of brain development. You are always focused on something which what you want to achieve. So growth is very important. So promoting your employees, promoting and doing all those kind of skills is a very important thing. And there are other things too, like apart from this, promoting the skills and, like I said, growth and diversity, inclusion, and things like that. So in conclusion, what I want to say today is that you are not alone. We are all stressed. You are not alone. But empathizing, understanding, and coming to a middle ground is the most important thing, coming to understand, empathizing with the employees, and the employees, as I said, understanding the employer. I think that is the trick. And the fact that though 160 million people go to work every day, you are not alone because 140 million of them are stressed, right? And so that is one thing to remember. You're not alone. And the other thing is, when you exude positivity, you're going to get back positivity. There is no other way. So I think that's very important, and that's helped me in my professional career, as well as, with my patient care, and in any field for that matter. So I just want to conclude with that, and thank you so much for listening.